This comes amid growing tensions between the U.S. and Israel over the conflicts in the Middle East. The Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, has elevated the threat posed by Israeli espionage to the highest level as tensions over Iran and Lebanon grow, NBC News and the New York Times reported on Saturday. The assessment, which was circulated internally in recent weeks, includes a 7-page document and a chart rating Israel's human and technical intelligence gathering capabilities as critical, according to NBC. The officials targeted included President Donald Trump's top negotiator in talks with Iran, Steve Witkoff, the Pentagon's top policy official, Elbridge Colby, and one of his main deputies, Michael Domino, according to the NYT. U.S. counterintelligence officials are increasingly concerned about Israeli spying activities targeting the U.S., including efforts to gain insight into the Trump administration's deliberations on Iran and Lebanon, both NBC and the NYT wrote, citing sources. The assessment also reportedly cites several. The aggressiveness with which Israeli spy services have surveilled top U.S. officials since the start of Trump's second term has been unhinged, the NYT cited a senior official as saying. While espionage between allies is common, the report said Israel's recent activities have gone beyond what would normally be expected, leading to the heightened threat assessment. The Pentagon declined to comment. A White House official told NBC that the entire story is false, while a spokesperson for the Israeli embassy in Washington dismissed the report as politically motivated and insisted that Israeli intelligence efforts are aimed at its enemies, not its allies. This comes amid growing friction between U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over Iran and Israel's military operations in Lebanon. Despite the fragile U.S.-Iran ceasefire reached in early April and extended on May 8th, negotiations on a broader deal remain deadlocked over Iran's nuclear program, with Israel publicly questioning Trump's diplomatic push and at the same time, Israel has intensified operations in Lebanon, where it launched a military operation in March against the Iranian-aligned Hezbollah movement. Earlier this week, Trump acknowledged reports that he called Netanyahu fucking crazy during a heated phone conversation over Israel's actions in Lebanon. I did, Trump said when asked about the exchange on the New York Post's Pod Force One podcast. I was a little bit perturbed at his constantly fighting with Lebanon. Previous reports suggest that Trump accused Netanyahu of jeopardizing U.S. negotiations with Iran by continuing the operation in Lebanon. Trump said on Monday that both the Israeli leader and Hezbollah had agreed to a truce, and the U.S. State Department announced on Wednesday that Israel and Lebanon had agreed to implement a ceasefire contingent on a complete cessation of Hezbollah attacks and the withdrawal. Despite the announcements, hostilities continued this week, with Israeli strikes in southern and eastern Lebanon killing and injuring dozens of civilians on Thursday, according to Lebanese health authorities. Iran previously said it would not agree to a permanent settlement with the U.S. unless the deal also addresses Lebanon, and warned it would abandon negotiations if Israeli strikes continue. Netanyahu's party says he'll run again despite Trump's skepticism. The statement by Likud came after the U.S. president said he wasn't sure the Israeli leader should be seeking another term. Israel's longest-serving prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, will run for office again in the election later this year, his Likud party has announced. On Tuesday, ABC News chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl claimed that U.S. President Donald Trump told him he wasn't sure if Netanyahu should seek another term. He's had an amazing career. Does he want to continue? The president said, as cited by Karl. According to the journalist, Trump described Netanyahu as a wartime prime minister and insisted that we will very shortly win the war against Iran, one way or the other. Likud responded to the report by issuing a short statement on X on Wednesday, stating that Prime Minister Netanyahu will run in the upcoming elections, and with God's help, he will win. Netanyahu, 76, who returned as prime minister in December 2022 after holding office from 1996 to 1999 and from 2009 to 2021, has also previously voiced plans to take part in the election. The date for the vote has not been officially announced, but according to Israeli laws, it should be held before October 27. It will be the first election in the country since it launched its military operation in Gaza in response to a deadly incursion by Palestinian armed group Hamas on October 7, 2023. A poll published by the Israel Democracy Institute on Tuesday suggested that 61% of Israelis do not want Netanyahu to run for office again. The same number of respondents also said that they were in favor of introducing a two-term limit for future prime ministers. Netanyahu, who is currently on trial for corruption, has faced harsh criticism recently from his political opponents in Israel over the handling of multiple conflicts under his leadership. They argue that the prime minister has failed to achieve his goals of eliminating Hamas in Gaza, neutralizing Hezbollah in Lebanon, or containing Iran, despite his claims to the contrary.